Hey guys, I wanted to show you I've been playing around. Lizzie and I have been playing with pin curling because we both have, she got my hair, the poor child. We have very fine, very board straight, skinny hair. It's the only skinny part on my body. But anyway, so my hair doesn't hold curl very well with heated sets like hot rollers and stuff, and we're coming into humidity season, and so I've seen a couple videos. So pin curls are the new thing that I've been practicing and playing with. So I was practicing makeup and pin curls today, and I was like, you know what, I need to make a video anyway, and I get to share my pin curls with people. What do you think? I'm totally jazzed by this. I don't even recognize myself, but I think it's kind of fun. All right, so today, oh, I lost it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the FemmyCycle. Now, you're going to notice water droplets in this because I'm always like really hyper paranoid when I do a cup review that there's going to be fluff or dust or something and people are going to see it and think that it's dirty, that I'm demonstrating a dirty cup. I'm not. But so you're going to see water droplets in there just because I rinsed it off to make sure there were no ugly dust or fluff bits on it. And I've been trying to do this review for you guys for a long time because the FemmyCycle, I had more learning curve with this guy than I did with any of my other cups. But I think it's really worth talking about because it's very, very different. And as a lower cervix person, this thing, I don't know. I'm going to need a couple more months with it to decide whether it's my favorite or not, but I'm definitely not giving it away. So let's go ahead and talk about the things we talk about in a cup review. First, I'm going to show you this because I always almost forget to do this. This is the pouch that the FemmyCycle cups come in. It's let's see if I can get it close enough to the camera for you to see what kind of material this is. It's interesting. It's this really breathable woven stuff. I've seen it on like bags that are designed for gym clothes and things like that. It's interesting. It's very well made, and it's a stand upright pouch. So like when you put the cup in here, it can actually stand upright, kind of like that. So, I mean, it's not my favorite aesthetically wise, but it's a really well made pouch, and you know, I'm going to make another one because that's just me, but it's a good one that comes with the FemmyCycle. Now, I did not buy this straight from the company, so I can't really comment on how they're packaged or anything when they come from the company. I bought this destashed from a young Canadian lady, and it has this little handle that looks like this. So if you are interested in a FemmyCycle that's not a low cervix FemmyCycle, you might want to look at the reviews for those, for the regular FemmyCycle as well as this one. They look a lot alike, but the handles are different and the shape and size are different, so look into it. But this should help give you an idea for a FemmyCycle product. One of the things that surprised me about this when I got it is that I had seen some videos about FemmyCycle cups before, and you know, the first thing you notice is this big round bulbous looking shape on them. And so I wasn't really sure about that. But when you get it, it's really, really soft. It's just very squishy. So that surprised me when I got it. I wasn't really prepared for it to be that way. And then once you actually use the cup, it's even softer and squishier in use than it is just holding it like this. So it's different. It's just really different than any of the other cups that I have. And there's some things about the FemmyCycle that you should know. I was telling people in one of my Q&A videos where they asked me for an embarrassing cup story. Every embarrassing cup story, pretty much, that I have ever had that's really embarrassing has been with this guy. So let's get into those. I'm going to take a break real quick. The first thing about this is that folds are different with this. And the problem that I was having, because I tried this cup for 3 previous cycles before I figured it out. And the reason why is because I kept trying to do, you know, like a punch down fold, and it's hard to do. And then I had people try to do the C fold, and that did not work. Number one, it was uncomfortable for me because this is the profile, and it's larger than I normally do for insertion on a cup. The insertion point for me needs to be a little bit narrower, but you can do all of it. You know, here's like a a 7-fold. I mean, you can do all of the typical folds, but what I found is that they didn't work for me with this cup. And what would happen is it wouldn't open, and I'd have this kind of number where it was all like this, and then the lip would open, but the rest of it would be pushing in, and it did not collect. It was not good at all. Also, there are no grip rings anywhere on this cup, and there is no rim at all. So I had issues with it because I'm a lower cervix person. If you're a higher cervix person, this one will not apply to you with your FemmyCycle, I don't think. But I had problems getting it past the pubic bone. It wouldn't stay where it was supposed to be because there's no grip rings, there's no rim, and I wasn't getting it in there correctly. Essentially, that's what the problem was. And so it took me longer to figure this cup out than it took me to figure out any of my other cups. Usually, during the first cycle I was attempting a new cup, I would figure out how to maneuver it for myself and have it function for me the way it was supposed to. This one, I had some issues with figuring it out. So if you get a FemmyCycle, yes, it will work. It's going to work. It's a great product. It works very well. But if you have the issues that I had figuring out how to get it inserted, just be patient. Just be patient. I promise you can make this thing work. And I think it's worth working that out because it has a really high capacity. And for lower cervix people, finding a cup that's short enough to comfortably fit and actually be inside your body where it's supposed to be, that doesn't have like a ridiculously small capacity that makes it kind of pointless, that can be difficult. So anyway, this is how I finally got it to work, is I just do this. I literally just push this part down, and this spout thing will come up. Ignore that, it's fine. And then, so basically it just ends up looking like that. It's kind of like a variation on the punch down fold, only you don't pull anything back, you just push it down. And so then what you get is this for an insertion profile, and that worked really well for me. And once you get it in there, it pops open and it makes that pop sound. It never popped open that viciously for me in use. It's just, when there's nothing, for demonstration purposes, it's just, it makes that noise. It doesn't make that, well, it might. But for me, it did not make that noise, and it certainly didn't pop open violently like that. So you get it like that. Here, I'll do that where it's on camera. I'm not very good at getting things on frame, sorry. Read my mind, don't see it on the video. And so that's kind of what I was dealing with. And then it would go in like this. And for me, the hardest part, because this cup is rimless, is making sure that the rim on the top and the rim on the back. Because what would happen is I would push it forward. I would try to push it forward really far so that it would be behind the pubic bone, because that was the problem I was having. I wasn't getting it in there past the pubic bone. But then what would happen is I would have this happen. So it would be in on the top, but then I would be pushing so hard on the top that it would come out this way. And seriously, I wanted to throw it. I really did. But I figured it out. So just be patient. Make sure that you figure out how to do that. So again, I'll just show you one more time. You just push it down like that so that you've just pushed down in the middle. And then you have this like semicircle shape, and then that's how you insert it. And then you just have to be patient and figure out with your body how to get it in like that. And it worked like a dream after that. So once you figure out insertion, you are golden. However, as promised, there are some things you need to know about this cup. This is their little ingenious spill-proof thing, and quite frankly, I want to cut it off. I mean, really, I don't need a spout to direct it. I mean, it's into the toilet. I could just pour it out like that and that would be fine. But this is their thing, is that you have this. And it's absolutely true that once you pull this cup out, it can be full almost up to the rim, and if you turn it upside down, nothing's gonna spill. It's supposed to keep it mess-free. Oh no. Oh, all the saints preserve us, no. That messiest cup I've ever dealt with until I figured it out. I don't have that problem with it now because I know what to do. But probably the first 5 or 6 times I successfully used this cup, and you know how I tell everybody that you suspect that it's going to be like a murder scene, but oh, that's not going to happen to you. Happened with this one. It was awful. Because, okay, yeah, it keeps it from spilling, but guess what? You go, put your finger down in there. Just let your imagination go on that one. So there's not only the having to put your finger in there and touch it. I don't have to touch the rim on any of my other cups when I'm taking them out. You know, I mean, I guess you could wipe it down before you empty it, but I mean, so not only is there this, okay, and this isn't clear and pretty when you take it out, there's also what happens, okay, watch. It pops open. Okay, there is spatter when you open this. So when this finally pops itself open, there is fine spray that goes. So I learned that what I have to do is take a piece of toilet roll or my hand or whatever and do like this number. Otherwise, literally on the wall, y'all, on the wall. That's, okay? Spatter. Boop. So when you are popping this spout open, cover it, piece of toilet roll, or your hand. Now, I'm making this sound terrible because for me, honestly, I wasn't even going to review this cup because it took me so long to figure out how to use this in a way that was tolerable for me. So I'm just letting you know all of these things because if they happen to you, they happen to me too. And if you get the FemmyCycle, I don't want you to have to go through this trial period with it where you're having all of these things happen. I want to tell you about them beforehand so that you don't start with that, so that you start from a much cleaner, happier baseline, because I really do think this is an amazing product. I like it now. I really like it. And in my past, I used almost this exclusively the whole time. I was able to wear this cup on average about 2 hours longer than I can wear my other cups just because of the capacity on it, which made it so nice. I only had to change my cup out once during the day and then once at night before bed. I mean, that was great. So I'm basically changing 3 times a day. So you change in the morning when you get up, you change at one point during the middle of the day, and then I would change it out again before I went to bed. And for me, that doesn't usually happen because my cups, because I'm a lower cervix person, most of my cups have a low enough capacity that I have to change them out more frequently than that. So this was really great for that. I loved that part. And no leaking. No leaking with this cup. Once I figured it out. Now, the first time I used this, it was nothing but leaks. It was leaks all over creation because I wasn't putting it in correctly. It wasn't sitting in my body correctly. That's the other thing. Because it doesn't have grip rings and because it's round, you get this very free-form kind of deal unless you have it back behind your pubic bone where it's supposed to be. Like, the big problem I was having was, like I said, I would push it in so it was like this. And so the bottom of it was barely even internal. So you had all of this external. It really needs to be so that all of it is internal. And for low cervix people, for higher cervix people, you're like, well, of course it's all going to be internal. How would you even not have it all internal? Well, for lower cervix people, most of us, our stems stick out like that. With this one, because it is so short, you should be able to get it all in there. Unless you have some extreme low cervix issues going. So that was when I finally realized it didn't need to sit quite as low as the other cups I'd been using. That was when I was able to get it in this ideal position for me. I really love this cup now. So I know this may sound like a negative review. It's not. It's just, it was an odyssey learning how to use this for me. And I thought I was pretty competent with cup use because I've tried several. I think I've tried 6 or 7 now. And I felt like, you know, I kind of know what I'm doing here, so we can conquer this. And it did. It took me 4 cycles. This past cycle was the 4th cycle I had tried to use this, and when I finally figured it out. So yeah, get one if you want one. They're wonderful. This may end up in the long run being my favorite cup because, like I said, I can wear it longer than any of my other cups. It's super comfortable once you figure out how to get it inserted. There is a learning curve with this, though. And it's very different than other cups. So even if you are comfortable with other cups, just anticipate that this is going to be like going back to the first time you ever used a cup. But it is a wonderful product. It's a very comfortable product. It's really well made, apparently, because I've had it for 4 months now, and it's working great. And it's been sterilized multiple times. It's been washed multiple times. It's still in like new condition. So anyway, the link for the FemmyCycle website is down below. And if you have any questions or comments, or if I didn't talk about something I should have talked about, please let me know. But all in all, yeah, I do recommend it. I'm not giving this one away. I'm keeping it. And I think I'll probably this one's definitely going to be one of my go-to cups, especially if I'm going to be on a road trip or something where I want to wear something for a long time. And remember, this is the FemmyCycle Low Cervix. The regular FemmyCycles, they look very similar, but they are different in size and the handles are different. So just, you know, keep that in mind. And if you are not a lower cervix person, if you're going to get the regular FemmyCycle cup, watch reviews for that so that you know for sure what your product is going to look like and how it's different than the one I've demonstrated here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. And really, I'm not trying to warn you off of this cup. I guess the whole point of doing this is so that when you do this stuff, you don't go through the same process that you're like, okay, so I already know not to just go like that. See, because the water, I don't know if you could see that on camera, but I opened that up, droplet of water went flying. And that was water. All right, thanks for watching. I will see you again soon.